Hi everybody, Lori here for My Favorite Things. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a couple of projects celebrating mom today, and I'm going to be featuring some new products from the latest April release. The first thing is the Best Mom Ever die-namics. It's a big, bold kind of word die. I love the mixture of font. It's got best and ever and then kind of a scripty mom in the middle. We also have the Next to You stamp set along with the Next to You coordinating die-namics. And there's just some cute little furry friends, the bunny, the bear, and I think it was a raccoon or a fox. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is die cut that scripty mom right in the center of the Best Mom Ever die-namics. I just did it out of some white cardstock. I'm using my little place and pierce wand to pop out the little innards. And then I'm going to carefully stick this to a little grip mat. That way I can blend the color. I'm just using some little Distress mini ink cubes. I have picked raspberry, spice marmalade, and mustard seed for a little warm tone blend. And I am being careful to not be too aggressive, but I love how the grip mat holds down the little die cut so that you can blend on it. So a little bit of mustard seed, trying to get a nice seamless blend into the three different colors. And there you have a little die cut gradient mom. And now on a separate panel of white cardstock. By the way, I'm using Hammermill. Any white cardstock will do, but this one I wanted to make sure would be Copic friendly. I stamped the cute mama bear image and baby bear from the Next to You stamp set. Also this little sprig of grass. I think it's a sprig of grass. I'm just stamping one to the right and one to the left to give the illusion of grounding. So this is going to be my panel. I'm not going to die cut the image, and I'm going to just do some very, very subtle Copic coloring. I'm not like a Copic master. I usually like to do something really, really light. So I have 3 shades of light brown, E50, E51, and E53. And I don't even color the whole image. I just kind of come up from the bottom and fade it. And then I take the darker shade and I add more detail, just more shading along the bottom of the bear. And I take those lighter, here's the darkest shade, the E53. And I'm just carefully going along the base of the jaw, and then I'll do the paws and the belly. And then I take those lighter shades and kind of blend it up. But I'm blending it into nothingness. So the top half of the bear and the top half of the body is going to be white. And it just gives it just a little soft, subtle color without being, too dramatic. It's also very forgiving and less effort. Yay! Yay for less effort. Also, a lot of times when I see large images, I get intimidated to color the whole mass area. So this whole idea of kind of like fading up into nothing, it's my jam. I like it. And so you have to have those light shades of Copics, like the E50. You can fade that up into nothing so easily. And then I just took a little, G40, and just gave a once over on the grass. Of course, I had to add a rosy cheek. I just can't not, and a little bit of pink in the ear. And then I'm going to stamp a little sub-sentiment, which is from the Next to You stamp set. And I'm just kind of getting the lay of the land here with my image and my die cut mom, and I'm going to nestle that little sub-sentiment right underneath it, and I'll stamp it with black ink. And it kind of a little bit is into the body of the bear, and it just ties the whole composition together. So what does this say? Thank you for always being there. A little bit of thin foam tape, popping this up on a cream card base, and then I did put little slivers of foam tape behind the mom. You know why? Because dimension is life. And then for embellishment, I pulled out some little white kind of enamel dots just for something different. And this card's finished. Lots of clean white space. I love that gradient mom. I had time for another card, and I wanted to do something different with this Best Mom Ever. I just immediately think of a shaker. So I took a panel 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 white cardstock, die cut that Best Mom Ever into it, taking my place and pierce wand, popping out the innards, but being careful to save those little ones in between the R and the O and the B. I'll need those later. Here's a white card base, and I have some pre-trimmed strips of solid color cardstock, and I wanted to kind of do some thick strips for the color behind. So I'm doing one color that's going behind mom. And then the best and the ever are going to get like two-toned because I wanted to try to pack in as much color as I can. So here you go. I've got some hot pink, some kind of orangey, corally shades here. And then I'm just using tape runner to adhere these thick strips onto a white card base. So you have some light pink on the top and some kind of grapefruit there on the bottom. See how it kind of lines up and gives great color behind that. You could just pop this up and be done, or if you want to take it one step further, back that panel with acetate, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm just using tape runner to adhere the acetate on the back of my shaker window. I did trim this down a little bit so it wouldn't hang over the sides. And then I have these are a lifesaver for shakers. The what do you call it? Like foam adhesive strips. I have a ton of these. They are a shaker's best friend. Just kind of doing the perimeter. I'm going to fill this with a clear iridescent kind of confetti. And so removing the backing on the foam tape, and then I'll just pour this clear confetti right onto my card base. Make sure you get it all in the center. Maybe I added too much. I know it's always debatable. You don't want to be stingy with your shaker filler, but you don't want to overfill it. It's always got to find that sweet spot. But this one here, I had some thick foam adhesive strips, so it's nice and shaky. And then I'm just going to carefully glue in these little, what do you call them? Innards, counters, I'm not sure. But sometimes I like to leave it out. I've asked my daughters before who've studied graphic design. They prefer putting them back in. I don't know. I can go either way. I don't mind it out. I don't mind it in. I'm not too picky about it. But I decided to put these in. I do think sometimes it makes it easier to read, but I think you can tell what it says with or without it. Carefully, I used the die cut letters to kind of help know exactly where to put those little, are they called counters? I think they are. Usually I call them doodads. And there you have the best mom ever. It's very simple, but there's color and shakeage behind, and then you've got the one featuring the next to you, Mama Bear. Make sure and check out the new April release with my favorite things. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.